Hello, good evening, excellent viewers. This is Satellite Media. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Let's look at this news coming from Opera News, talking about Ekpa. He said that just in, Finland approves extradition of Ekpa to Nigeria over terrorism allegations. He went further to say that the Finnish authorities have approved the extradition of Ekpa, a controversial Finnish-Nigerian separatist agitator, to Nigeria. He said the transfer is scheduled for July 15, 2025. He go further to say that following a ruling by the Paget-Heim District Court in Lahti on April 18, 2025. Let me quickly say that personally, I strongly disagree with this news, and my reasons are not far-fetched. One, we understand that Nigeria do not enjoy extradition treaty with Finland, and for you to initiate extradition process against someone, your country must enjoy extradition treaty with that country. And second one have to do with the man, Ekpa, already renouncing his Nigerian citizenship. Now, on the issue of extradition, though, even if there is no extradition treaty, the country in question, like Finland, can use their discretion to decide to initiate the such process. But that does not exclude prejudicial process. A situation where the man in question, this time around, Ekpa will be given a fair hearing, an opportunity to defend himself in court. Perhaps if he says he don't want to come to Nigeria, he will be given an opportunity to state his reasons why he may not want to come to Nigeria. And the point here is, we understand that Nigeria is a country that have history of human rights violation, that have history of violating and disobeying court orders. And of course, if there is such prejudicial process in Finland, where Ekpa will have the opportunity to defend himself, he would have, or he must latch on those issues, evidences, to buttress why he may not want to come to Nigeria. Because I understand that even the case involving Nnamdi Kanu, the reason Court of Appeal in Nigeria ruled that Nnamdi Kanu was extradited rendition from Kenya to Nigeria is because there was no prejudicial process to determine whether he should come to Nigeria or not. Of course, he was abducted, that had been established. And if you look at the judgment that set Nnamdi Kanu free in Nigeria, talking about the Court of Appeal, it is not on record that federal government secured a stay of execution of that judgment to have warranted leaving him in detention, not allowing to enjoy that judgment. Because if the government did not secure a stay for execution, the implication is that they would have set him free and allow him to perhaps go to his home. And even if the government needed to appeal the case, that does not mean he shouldn't have enjoyed the judgment of the court. So in a nutshell, if you have another issue involving someone, definitely he will cite that as an instance. I understand that we had issue that has to do with Dasuki in the past, where the court will give judgment and the government will flout it. The government will not obey it. And we have seen instances in the past as well, where the court will give judgment against the government will flout the judgment, will not obey it. The person will even go to court to secure a garnishing order. A garnishing order is an order compelling government to obey an initial court judgment. Even at that level, we have some instances where the government will still flout that order and refuse to obey it. So once you see all these issues, definitely at the level of arguing extradition, it must come up and it will count against the country. So the point here is the government must realize, as a matter of necessity, just like Professor Woloshenka have repeatedly said, that Biafra is an ideology and that it cannot be defeated through the bar of gun. So if you want to address it, it must be through ideological point of view. That's why I say that if you look at Nigeria, the way God created Nigeria, by providence, God created the Igbo, the Hausa, the Yoruba, distinct persons, distinct people, looking at their culture, looking at their particularly language, because language is a natural unifying factor. However, it is not out of place for people of different languages, different culture to come together under one entity called Nigeria, but it has to be through unanimous agreement, not the current arrangement we have that looks coercive, because the ground norm, the constitution that binds everybody together in Nigeria is a military creation. And all the while, the people have been yearning for a people's-oriented constitution. The government, or rather the ruling class, the political class, has always stand against it. So the point here is, it is not out of place for Nigerian government to invite European Union to manage the process of perhaps a referendum. That's why I see it. Because if you do not want people to go, I know that the self-determination is a right, a treaty in the UN Charter that will ratify in Nigeria. What you do is you canvass a superior opinion, so that when it comes to the point where they are to vote, those who want to stay, if they are the majority, of course, you would have shamed the agitators. And that will, for me, put an end to any issue of agitation. Because today we are seeing Biafra agitators. Currently, we're already seeing Ududua agitators. Because the other time, a Sunday went to England to submit letter to the office of the Prime Minister of Britain, talking about Ududua Republic. So, even if the British High Commission in Nigeria here advised Sandibo and his likes to join hands with other Nigerians and move Nigeria forward, we recall that when Britain needed to exit European Union, that nobody acknowledged them to stay within European Union, to join hands with other members of European Union to move European Union forward. Rather, in their own case, the minority had their say, while the majority had their way. And as we have it today, they already exited European Union. In the same vein, if anyone is agitating to exit Nigeria and is coming through the angle of self-determination, I don't think that person has committed any crime, both locally and internationally, because self-determination is a law in Nigerian legal jurisprudence. Hence, it has been ratified as a UN charter in Nigeria. So, even the issue of handing, arresting, have not solved the problem. Because if that is a solution, we will have a situation where after the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, we have someone like Ekpa taking up the agitation. If handing, arresting, prosecution is a solution, we will have a situation where after the arrest of Ekpa, we had the likes of Dr. Ngozi Arabese, the likes of Ogenkere rising to further the agitation. Don't forget that we have seen the likes of who was Rike in the past, who of course at the point chickened out before Nnamdi Kanu took over the struggle. So it got to show that handing, arresting, prosecution, intimidation is not deterring people from it. So it got to show that actually it's an ideology and that it cannot be defeated through coercive force, through the military might. It means the government must find a way to have everybody on the table to discuss whether we have to continue living together as one or whether people should go their separate way. Of course, people should be given the opportunity to express what they want. I must say very thank you for your time. I'm Mr. Mato on this Satellite Media.